It is my first BILEAP conference, yeah. I've been to a few other kind of ELT conferences, but it's my first time coming to BILEAP. And I guess one of the most notable things is just the amount of research that goes into every presentation. It seems to be quite, people have talked about it quite a lot, about the kind of importance of scholarship and research. And yeah, every single talk seems to have been quite thoroughly thought about beforehand. So yeah, it's been a kind of an interesting observation. I used to work at Reading University, and there I was teaching on the foundation programme, so lots of the stuff was kind of directly relevant. At the moment I've recently moved to University of Liverpool, and I teach on the general English programme there, so it's not as directly kind of applicable, except for the IELTS strand that I teach on. Some of it I'm trying to kind of match it to IELTS. But you know, that's my context at the moment. But I feel like, you know, in the future I'll probably be teaching on pre-sessionals or in-sessionals. So I'm kind of banking a lot of ideas that should come in kind of to use in the future. Comparing it to IETFL, probably not. I seem to, maybe it's just the kind of people that I've met, but there's lots of people who are kind of based in the UK, if that's what you mean by in terms of where they work, international. Obviously, lots of the people who are based in the UK are from around the world, so it is international in that sense. But I don't know, I felt that IETFL had a more kind of splattering of people from around the world, whereas here seems maybe a bit more UK focused. They were talking today in the AGM about a China biennial Chinese BILEAP conference, which seems to be quite, you know, going in that direction. And with the new SIGs, maybe it might model that kind of IETFL approach to having SIGs in different countries, having SIG events in different countries anyway. So yeah, I mean, with the growth in EAP, especially in East Asia, it's probably bound to be more kind of international, yeah. I guess some of the innovations maybe are not as positive as the term innovation maybe I'd normally associate with it. So Alex Ding and Ian Bruce's talk about commodification of EAP, and how I think Ian Bruce is doing some research into how EAP materials are becoming more commodified, with kind of more discrete item teaching and like synthetic approaches to syllabus design, which I guess is an innovation in the fact that it's new for maybe newer for EAP than it was, but not a particularly positive innovation for teachers and students. I thought another kind of innovation, which seems to be a theme, is that of like teacher research, practitioner research, scholarship, which seems to be positive that people are talking about it, but then lots of the people I've spoken to here kind of see it as a bit of a pipe dream unless there's time given to do that. So I guess it's a potential innovation, maybe an exploration. I'm not sure which of those ones it would come into. And yeah, in terms of innovations for BILEAP as a kind of organisation, I thought it was interesting. Somebody, I can't remember who it was, made a call for BILEAP to be a bit more vocal in making a case for EAP as a discipline, as an academic discipline, kind of explaining what the role of EAP is in universities, so that there's less chance of us becoming a commodity and becoming something that is you know, a small marketable bit of the university, and more we're kind of contributing a larger kind of integral part of universities. But again, I think that's more of a kind of a aspirational thing rather than anything that is currently happening. Yeah, there's been some great sessions. I mean, it's only midday on the Saturday, so I've kind of only gone to half of what I will go to. I went to an interesting one by a colleague of mine actually at Liverpool called Philip Leake, who looked at helping students be a bit more aware of fake news. And so he kind of showed us examples of varying degrees of fake news and different types of misinformation or disinformation, I think is what he called it. But what I think I can take for me is some of the teaching approaches that he demonstrated and some of the websites that he uses with students to kind of investigate the validity of certain information, and frameworks that he uses with students to, again, kind of look at how reliable and how trustworthy is the information that they're reading and they're researching for their disciplines. I think having stuff outside of London in the UK is awesome, and I think everything should be kept within a kind of 2-hour radius of Liverpool as long as I'm living in Liverpool.